And welcome back to postseason NoQuipFootball here on NoQuip Sports, your no funny business source of just football news. You get in, you get out in 5 to 7 minutes or less, and hopefully you pick up the pick'ems along the way. So people, just so you all know, since NoQuip Sports started in Week 10 of the NFL, we have gotten 97 out of 123 games called correctly, 78.8% correct. So I hope that as the season went through, you took some advice from this channel and also enjoyed that nice almost 80% correct picking. So also we are calling all of the games, so we're making the official calls in the Friday video, so look forward to that. But while we have you here now, we're going to talk about the first Sunday wildcard game. We have the Miami Dolphins visiting the Pittsburgh Steelers, so I'm reading a little bit just to make sure I get this right for y'all. At 1:05 p.m. Eastern Time, Heinz Field in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania on CBS for those of you who are looking to watch. So let's talk about the Miami Dolphins this season. How'd they get in? They got a 10-6 record. They're the 6th seed in the AFC Championship bracket, and they've had a fairly good season this year. I mean, I've been very surprised because, in these past few years, other than the New England Patriots, in the AFC East, there has really been no consistency at all, and it seems like their pattern is finally starting to catch on. They're really starting to catch some fire. Ryan Tannehill had a great season up until he got injured, so he's hoping to come back for this game. So that's a little bit of a question mark right now. And also, he's finally, Tannehill, speaking of him, he's finally converting all of his stats. He's been one of the high stat total guys for a very long time, but he's finally converting it into points for the team, which is huge and what has made such a big difference this year. The injury that he does have is sprained ligaments in his knee, so that's kind of a tough one. Like I said earlier, he's hoping to come back. Also, the defense has been pretty good this year. I mean, they're very powered up with some big names that came in, and they've been kind of performing. However, of course, they went and picked up Arian Foster, who has been Mr. Injury ever since he entered the league, and lo and behold, what did he do once again? But he went and got injured, and now Jay Ajayi has stepped up, and boy has he ever. He busted onto the scene. He didn't come onto the scene and start taking the ball and running it. He absolutely destroyed it when he came in, and he continued to produce, which is something that you don't normally see, and which is what I'm kind of wondering about Zenner from Detroit. But anyways, moving on, it was a true surprise, honestly. And then, honestly, in my opinion, their most impressive game this year was that 15-30 win over Pittsburgh. Now, granted, I believe in that game, it was Week 6, I believe that's when Ben Roethlisberger got injured during that game, or maybe the game before. But so there's a little bit of less offensive power on their side of the field, but they still had Le'Veon out there. They still had Antonio, I believe. So still, even with all those weapons, and their backup's been there forever too, so he knows what's going on. So I'll give that one to Miami. They won it by a little over 2 touchdowns, so I was fairly impressed. The biggest question I have coming into this game is if Ryan Tannehill will play or if Matt Moore will play, because when Matt Moore played, I believe in Week 17, he absolutely laid an egg and let the Patriots just roll all over him. So, speaking of, we have the Pittsburgh Steelers next. They have 11-5 record on the season, and they're the 3rd seed. In my opinion, their most impressive game was actually a loss this year. And I don't know if any of you all watched it. I believe it was in prime time. This was an incredible game to watch. It was Week 10, hosting the Cowboys. They lost 35-30. But here's the thing, the Steelers showed balls, intelligence, athleticism, and grit against a powerhouse of a team that had just been rolling everybody all season long. So I think that game was incredible. That was the game of the fake spike. If anybody remembers that highlight, that was the fake spike game, and then that was when Ezekiel Elliott had some crazy breakout runs at the end of the game to bring the game back into Dallas's favor. So I think that was their most impressive game. It was a loss, and I know it's really crazy to say, but it was such a good game, and I'm really looking forward to it. If for whatever reason the Patriots were to lose, I would love to see Dallas and Pittsburgh in the Super Bowl and have that rematch happen again. But anyways, all you need to know about the Pittsburgh offense, Ben Brown, and Bell. That's all you need to know. The three of those guys need to keep doing what they're doing. They've been having a great season so far. The Steelers, they stack on a ton of points, but from what I can tell, it doesn't really matter so much what caliber team they go against. If they get behind, they tend to like become a little bit complacent. So that's the only thing I'd watch for in these playoffs. But I have a feeling like it's the playoffs. You don't get complacent. You go you win or you go home. Like there's no next week. Like, so they gotta, and being that Miami is kind of having a tough situation at, at their offensive quarterback right now, they're gonna have a tough day to start with. So I think that Pittsburgh could have a very good day, but we'll see what happens in the news throughout the week before I make those calls on Friday. But anyways, the other thing to keep in mind is that Le'Veon Bell was also suspended to start the game, and Ben was also injured for about 2-ish weeks. And they did play Cleveland and Cincinnati pretty soft this season. So, we don't have the best look at how Pittsburgh actually is this year. Especially within their division, so I'm wondering how that kind of transfers over into the playoffs as well. So anyways, they need to do some mental changes and to really get prepared for these playoffs, but other than that, that's what we got for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Now, while you're all here, don't forget, please subscribe here to the NoQuip Sports on YouTube. We also have a Twitter page at NoQuip Sports on Twitter, and you can also like us on Facebook, NoQuip Sports. Facebook, you get the live videos. Twitter, you get live tweeting, and also live videos as well of games. And then in addition to that, YouTube here, we got the more serious videos. So I hope you all enjoy that, and I hope we'll see you here tomorrow and Friday when we call all the games. And as always, go football.